Hi everyone, Leticia here. Hope your week is going well so far. Happy Wednesday. Again, I'm coming to you today on a Wednesday, not my usual day for the webinars, but I will be traveling in a couple of days. So I wanted to get this out of the way while I'm still in town. So, guys, this is a topic that has come up a lot. People are wondering, look, I'm considering investing in the Riviera Maya. What would be better, Playa or Tulum? And the answer to that question is a very personal one. And I will give you some of my thoughts. Of course, again, you are the ultimate decision maker. But I will give you, my thoughts on the matter. Okay. So give me a chance. I have prepared a few slides for you. In fact, it was my lovely assistant Montserrat that put them together. And I will share my slides with you. 1 second. And by the way, welcome to any of you who are watching this live, and also to those of you who will be watching this after the fact. Okay, the video will remain on my channel, on my Facebook as well. Okay. Oh no, this is not a time to be. Somebody's calling me right now. I apologize. Okay, we're turning that off. Okay. Hey everyone, sorry, I literally was getting a call right now. So present, we're gonna, it's actually giving me the option to show slides. No, with your computer. Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna show you. So it looks like they changed the screen a little bit. Okay, give me 1 second, you guys. Allow. Okay, we're gonna go into view mode. Okay, hopefully you guys can see the screen. Okay, there you go. So where to invest, Playa del Carmen or Tulum? So I guess my biggest question for you would be, what is your intention for the property? Are you thinking you want to get a property in which you're going to be living part of the year? We have a lot of digital nomads that do that in this area. They'll come and live in the property for a few months out of the year, and then they'll rent it out the rest of the time. Or is your intention primarily to continue living wherever you're living and just get an investment property, a pure investment, where you may come on vacation 1 or 2 weeks out of the year? Okay, and based on how you answer that, you'll see there is I guess there's a right or wrong answer. Well, there's no right or wrong answer, but again, it's a matter of preference. Just to compare the two cities, and to answer that question and to kind of put things in perspective, Playa del Carmen versus Tulum. Playa del Carmen is a much larger municipality. I mean, it's not a large city, but it's a we're talking about 300,000 inhabitants as of 2020. And my friend, I was just reading on Wikipedia that it has an extraordinary growth rate, 25% per annum, which makes it one of the fastest growing cities in North America. Tulum is a much smaller municipality, 46,000 inhabitants, again, as of 2020, according to the census. Both municipalities are very fast growing. Tulum is the newest municipality in Quintana Roo, in the state of Quintana Roo. And both areas are growing very fast, and a lot of that growth has been driven by international, expats, the expat population. Now, if you're looking for a place to live in, and especially within the next year or two, I'll have to say Playa del Carmen is a lot more developed. It has a lot more infrastructure. We have large-size grocery stores, malls, all the conveniences that somebody living in a North American city would expect and would be used to. Tulum, the infrastructure is still nascent. If you've had the opportunity to travel to Tulum, you would have noticed that a lot of the roads are still dirt roads. They're not paved as of yet. Internet service can still be spotty outside of the main central area. Okay, Tulum is definitely where the growth is going, although both cities are continuing to experience a lot of growth. Okay, so brings me to the next question. Are you a solo investor? Are you a couple? Are you someone with a family? Because Playa is a lot more of a developed city, we have a more diverse population. We do have a lot of families with kids that either come here to live here for part of the year or on vacation. Tulum is, for the time being, at least, primarily a vacational rental market, and it tends to skew younger. So and I know this based on speaking with. I live in Playa del Carmen, as you guys know, but I don't administer rentals in Tulum. However, I work with a lady who administers a lot of rentals in Tulum, and she told me, you know what, the population in Tulum tends to be younger. We have a lot of single and couples, digital nomads, and some, again, the typical traveler to Tulum is a young couple that will come for about a week or two at a time. Okay, so your typical vacational rental from a livability perspective, there are some areas of Tulum, in particular Aldea Sama, that was the original planned neighborhood in Tulum, where the infrastructure is better. They have sewage, among other things. And over there, you could say that that is the most family-friendly area of Tulum. That being said, again, if you are somebody that has a family and is planning on either buying a larger property like a 3-bedroom home, we're going to have a lot more of that type of inventory in Playa del Carmen versus in Tulum. There are increasingly some more residential developments in Tulum. However, if you look at the real estate that is being offered in Tulum, by and large, we're talking about luxury condos, studios that are geared to this vacational rental market. Okay, so hopefully that puts things in perspective for you. Let's talk a little bit about the price points. So that on the right is actually a property in Tulum that is currently offered in pre-construction. The price point, it tends to be a bit lower in Tulum versus Playa. So if that is a factor for you, for sure in Tulum, and I put this price point here, that is not by any stretch the only price point available. You will find properties that are priced at lower than that in both cities and higher than that. In fact, in Tulum, you can find some studios that are priced, a lot of studios are priced in the 100K price range. However, these were two properties being offered by the same developer, in this case, Maneset. They are one of the top developers of luxury studios geared towards investors, and they have projects both in Playa and Tulum. So to give you an idea, for a very similar standard of property by the same developer, the starting price point in a very desirable area of Tulum was around 155, 160. For similar properties in Playa, around the same time, they were offering, their starting price point was 170, and now increasingly those types of properties in that same part of Playa are being offered at 180, 190. Okay, that's the starting price point. So starting price point in Playa does tend to be a bit higher. You can still find more budget-friendly properties in Playa, but you're going to have to either sacrifice in terms of the standard of building. It's not going to be the same standard of luxury. It could be maybe a more beach-style building, or you're going to be looking at properties that are a little further out from Central. Okay, in Tulum, again, overall starting price point is a bit lower than Playa. Now, again, there are, and we're going to distinguish this shortly, there are some areas that are going to be much more expensive, such as the Tulum beach area. In terms of the return of investment, it's going to be very similar in between the two cities. Some people will say that, in terms of capital appreciation, maybe you can expect a bit more in Tulum. Generally, unless you're buying, if you're buying in the early pre-construction phases of a property, then what developers will do, and this applies pretty much everywhere in the world where pre-construction properties are offered, that the closer a property gets to the delivery date, then the prices go up. So you have a built-in capital appreciation, and with both Playa and Tulum projects, you can expect as much as a 25% increase from the time that if you bought in early pre-construction to the time that the property is market ready. So there is that built-in appreciation. Now, once the property is delivered, I generally don't like to speculate as to what you can expect in terms of capital appreciation. Okay, we do have inventory coming to market, lots of inventory coming to market in both locations. However, we also have, as I've spoken about this before, we have major infrastructure developments coming to the area. We have this high velocity Mayan train that will connect the cities of Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, and other cities in the Yucatan Peninsula. We have an international airport coming to a location about 45 minutes away from Tulum. It was going to be called Tulum International Airport. Looks like they've settled on a different name, the president of Mexico and whoever makes the decision, they settle on a different name, but it will be a closer airport to Tulum than the current Cancun airport. So with that, we expect that with obviously an ease of getting there, Tulum will become even more of an international destination. So some people are saying, well, from a capital appreciation perspective, I'd rather put my bet on Tulum. Again, my professional investor friends will say, listen, don't invest on speculation, invest based on rental ROI. And we have lots of properties in the area with provable ROIs between 8 and 12%, okay, based on the rental income alone, okay? Again, if I'm going to compare what type of rentals you're going to find in Tulum, what kind of investor, who your rental, if you're primarily thinking of this as an investment, who is going to be a rental clientele in Tulum versus Playa? Again, Tulum is primarily designed as a vacation rental market. Again, I think in time, some areas will develop to be more family friendly. Aldea Zama, for example, will continue being one of those areas. In Playa del Carmen, we are going to have a combination of short-term vacation rentals and longer-term stays. And the longer-term stays are, again, we're seeing a lot of digital nomads coming here, having the flexibility of working from home. Now they can work from home from this beautiful location, okay? So from a safety of investment perspective, again, I may be biased, but I like the option of having both choices, okay, as opposed to strictly relying on vacational rentals. Again, I do think that as the infrastructure in Tulum develops and Tulum becomes a more livable city, we're gonna see people staying longer and longer. And we do have a number of digital nomads. Definitely, there out of that 45,000 population, I'd actually be curious. I don't know what the percentage is that are expats. But definitely, most of the population growth in both municipalities has been the expat population that's moving to the area. Okay, there are definitely Mexicans from other parts of Mexico also moving to this area. Some of them work in the supporting industries such as tourism, and then we also have Mexican professionals that are also working from home. I have had clients like that as well who work for big brands or what have you, and they also want to live in this gorgeous area. Okay. Let's talk about whether, are you looking for a move-in ready property versus a pre-construction property? Playa being a larger city, we do have a larger inventory of what we call resale properties or move-in ready properties where somebody might have owned them for a couple of years and now they're getting ready to move to their next investment. So there's a lot more resale inventory. In other words, move-in ready properties in Playa versus Tulum. Tulum, the majority of the rental inventory is going to be in pre-construction because it's such a new municipality and it was basically virgin land. And some of it, I've spoken to you guys before, some of that land has been allotted for development, and that's what's happening. I do occasionally see, I definitely see some move-in ready properties in Tulum as well, where again somebody might have bought in pre-construction and maybe they are the type of investor who specifically bought with the idea, hey, listen, I'm happy to get my capital appreciation for, from the time I bought to market ready. When you're buying a market ready property, a moving ready property, you are paying market price for the unit versus a pre-construction price, which will usually reflect a certain amount of discount. Okay. Now, some of you, those of you who have traveled to this area already know this main point of difference between the two cities. Playa del Carmen has a pretty large walkable area. You from many properties in the area, you can walk to the beach within 10, 15 minutes. Now, there are properties located on the other side of the Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum highway, which, arguably somebody could still walk to the beach, maybe a 25-minute, half an hour walk. It's not particularly pleasant to walk across a 4-lane highway to get to the beach. So when I talk about the walkable area of Playa, I generally will refer to the area on the beach side of the Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum highway. Okay. In Tulum, we have a different dynamic. We have Tulum Beach, which is the prime real estate area in Tulum. That's where you have $300 to $400 to $700 a night hotels, luxury boutique hotels that are located right on the beach. Okay, and again, they do cater to that higher end clientele, and there are a handful of properties that are being developed on Tulum Beach, not many, and by and large, we're going to be talking about like a really much higher price point when you're in Tulum Beach versus other parts of Tulum. So, and the beach in Tulum is about a 3-kilometer distance away from what we call Tulum Central or the other parts of Tulum. So when I compare the two markets, I almost want to compare Tulum Central versus the walkable part of Playa, because again, Tulum Beach is kind of in a category on its own, and anybody who's been there and paying $90 a plate at at one of these luxury beach clubs or restaurants, um, that's a different type of property and a different type of investor. First of all, that there's going to be buying there, and a different type of clientele that will be visiting. So if somebody has the means to buy a property, I would say you're looking about 500K plus, um, 350K plus for one bedroom in the few developments that are available in the Tulum Beach area. By and large, the inventory that's available is going to be in Tulum Central and other parts of Tulum. One day I'm going to do a webinar about other parts, like the different neighborhoods in Tulum, maybe the different neighborhoods in Playa. Um, but I guess in conclusion, the location that you choose will depend on your goals as an investor. So again, are you looking to live in the unit part of the year? Are you looking to primarily have an investment property that is just going to cash flow for you? Okay. I think from a livability perspective, definitely Playa takes the cake. From an investment ROI perspective, one thing I did not mention is that in Tulum, in the high season, we do tend to see higher nightly rates, okay? But the lower season in Tulum, also meaning the summer months when traditionally it's nice in the northern hemisphere, um, like in countries like Canada and the US, um, the lower market in Tulum, so the low season in Tulum also tends to hit a bit stronger than in Playa. And I think what levels things off in Playa are, this increasing number of digital nomads that are here for multiple months out of the year, or year round. And, maybe your rental rates, if you're doing vacation rentals, are not going to be quite as high in Playa versus Tulum in the high season, but the lower season, you also have a little bit more stability in the lower season. So now, if you're an investor that has the means to invest in both areas, and then listen, Tulum, absolutely a magical place. It's developing. It's going to be the it destination. It's building up to be. It already is, and it's building up to be in the next 2 to 5 years. Absolutely, a very much an it destination for international influencers, VIP travelers. It's really developing into a magical travel destination. Um, if you're an investor that has the means to invest in both areas, I would say from a diversification perspective, why not do both? You can buy a property in Playa, buy another one in Tulum, and see which one which one does better for you. And also, but again, bottom line, I think with Tulum, it's for an investor that has more of a future orientation. Um, because again, from a livability perspective, Playa is definitely much more livable currently versus Tulum. Okay, so those are my thoughts on the matter. Let me know your thoughts if you like in the comments. Okay, and of course, should you be interested in either of these destinations or both, okay, feel free to reach out to me. That's my WhatsApp over there. I can also be reached via Instagram at Freedom Playa. That's my email address. Okay, info@freedomplaya.com. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Let me see if I can just stop sharing my screen now. How do I do that? Ha ha ha. Cancel. Okay, minimize. Stop screen sharing. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And I look forward to hearing from you, hearing your thoughts, and also look forward to virtually seeing you on some of my future webinars. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. And yeah, I just want to say I will be traveling for the next little while on another mountaineering adventure. So my assistant will continue uploading. We have a backlog of videos from the area that will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. However, I will be taking a break from the live webinars for the rest of October. I will be back, God willing, in the first week of November. Okay, my friends, thanks so much for tuning in again. Have a great rest of the week. Bye for now. Blessings.